Selamat siang. Welcome back to another Bali COVID-19 update. This is May 16th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. What about the weather today? Well, it is windy, 19.7 kilometers per hour, and the temperature is 31.1 degrees Celsius. The humidity 66%, and there's some clouds in the sky, but it is a beautiful day. And up here on my balcony, it is nice and cool with the breeze coming in off the ocean. And the last few days have been kind of slow in the news. And well, you know, there's a saying, no news is good news. There hasn't been anything about the visas that I have seen, certainly no big changes. And I have seen on social media some people saying that when they come in, they're not being asked about insurance, they're not being asked about the Peduli Lindungi. And I was asked in a comment about that. I would have all of those things just in case, because you never know when they're going to ask you. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers. The numbers are looking good. Now this is Monday, so it was a weekend, slow weekend, but they're good nonetheless. National new cases, 257. National recoveries, 293. National deaths, 5. Wow, 5. Bali new cases, 20. Bali recoveries, 8. And Bali deaths, 0. So let's hope those good numbers continue as we get farther and farther away from Idul Fitri, and wait to see if there's any spike in cases, and so far, no. And so that is good news. And speaking about numbers and good news, the first segment. Vice President, Bali is safe. Tourists don't need to worry about COVID-19. Okay, there's really no substance to this story. The Vice President said that the COVID-19 situation in Bali is getting better with the vaccination rate being so high. And therefore, he said, people don't have to worry. They can come here. The Vice President said 68 to 70% have received the booster. Okay, I haven't seen any numbers like that. I'm not sure where those came from. If that's true, that's great. But I think that sounds pretty high to me. Nonetheless, nice to hear the Vice President saying that people should feel safe coming to Bali. And with all of the foreigners coming in here and all the domestic tourists that we have, it doesn't look like anybody is worried about being safe. And my family was out last night at, I don't know if it's a new restaurant out over towards Lovina, and they said it was full, and locals and some foreign tourists, mask wearing, not happening. So people are apparently feeling comfortable being here. And let's look at some more on the arrivals of tourists here. Thousands of Australian citizens visit Bali. Domestic tourists decrease, foreign tourists increase. Okay, well, we knew that's what's going to happen. So after Idul Fitri, a lot of people went back to wherever they come from, to Java, especially from Surabaya and Jakarta. We always get a lot of people from there. And according to the chairman of the Indonesian Hotel and Restaurants Association in Badung, I Gusti Nurarai Sriwijaya, and we talked about him a lot, he said that the market is full of Australians because of the distance between Australia and Bali. It's not that far, and he said a lot of Australians think of Bali as being their second home, and this is a cheap vacation for them, and so they are coming and dominating the market. He said, now what is starting to increase tourist visits are the foreign tourist visits. From the beginning it was dozens, then hundreds, now thousands. In fact, he said, the current foreign tourist visits are dominated by Australians. He said 4,000 foreign tourists are visiting a day now. Wow, okay, so we're up to 4,000. And 60% of those are Australian citizens. And we've talked about that before, and I think if you look at some of these walking videos, Bobo, Uncle Chan, the monkeys, and you listen to the comments when they do talk to people, you hear a lot of Australian accents. And after Australia comes Europe and Asia. And he said, as for China, they haven't opened yet because COVID cases are still high. In fact, they're still locked down. And he said that under normal circumstances, under normal conditions, China is right after Australia in terms of number of tourists coming in. And according to Mr. Sriwijaya, the hotel occupancy rate was around 60% during the Lebaran holidays and now has dropped to around 40%. But 40% is still a lot better than it was just not too long ago. During the Lebaran holiday, there were approximately 18,000 people a day coming here, and he said the number is now dropped down to around 12,000. And school holidays will be coming up next month, and when school holidays happen, we always get a lot of tourists from Java, especially school kids taking end of the year trips. And so you get these big buses that come up on the road from Denpasar to here, going home or going down from here. And it makes that road going through Badugal a nightmare. It is so slow. Maybe with the shortcut, things will be quicker this year. But it's good to see tourists coming in as usual. And according to Pak Sriwijaya, foreigners that come here want to visit people in remote places and sleep in their houses and cook together and wake up early and know the conditions that are in the environment. He said we're often misguided and think that they only want to sleep in hotels, but they really want to get out in the countryside and see what's happening. Oh, okay. Well, I know I do, and some of the people that I talk to do. What do you think? Do you think that most people that are coming in here, most foreigners, want to get out into the hinterlands and hang out and spend some time in homestays in remote places, or would they prefer to be in Canggu in a beach club, or in Seminyak or Sanur down by the beach? Leave a comment. Okay, on to some local news, and wow, this could have been scary. Fortunately, it was not too bad. 2 ships collision in the Bali Strait. KMP Trisula can't continue operations, 2 passengers injured. So 2 ferries carrying cargo and passengers collided in the strait. Well, actually they weren't in the strait, they were taking off. And so what happened is 2 ferries are coming in and they were docking in Java, and they were having a hard time docking because of extreme currents. They finally managed to dock. They downloaded, everybody got off, all the passengers, all the equipment, everything got off. They loaded back up and they took off at almost the same time. Now they were on 2 different piers over there. They took off almost at the same time, and so as they were coming out, the currents were too strong, and so, well, according to a person quoted in the article here, they didn't actually collide, he said. They just kind of friction, they rubbed against each other. And, well, there was some minor damage. 1 ship was unable to continue. The second ship was able to continue. 2 passengers were hurt, but not too seriously. And there was some damage to 1 ship, and so it had to be taken to a repair facility to be fixed. And all the passengers had to get on a different ferry to go. And so this is one of those things that does happen here. If you've taken ferries, you know that it can be sometimes a harrowing experience. Generally, I feel comfortable taking the ferries here. And so, this is one of the things, nevertheless, that you have to be aware of. Sometimes this stuff happens if you take the ferries here. So this has been a good news video, generally. What about rabies? Right, the rabies outbreak is getting crazier in Jembrana. It has penetrated 100 cases, so I've talked about the rabies in different areas. This is Jembrana. The proof, case of dog bites positive for rabies continues to grow in Jembrana. And in the past week, 6 new cases were added, bringing a total confirmed positive for the last 5 months of 100 cases. So 100 people have been bitten by dogs proved to be rabid. As the rabies cases have risen because of the availability of rabies vaccine being low. The mass vaccination in red zone villages has been temporarily suspended. The head of the Health and Veterinary Services Division of the Jembrana Agriculture and Food Service, Ewan Widarsa, said that the results of checking samples in the laboratory were positive and that the number of positive cases in Jembrana is at 100. And so his party will vaccinate where there are new positive cases. The vaccination is to prevent the spread of rabies, especially in areas where there's new positive cases. But the mass vaccinations have to stop for the time being because there's no vaccines. According to the doctor, the latest information regarding the procurement of rabies vaccine in the province is still in the procurement area. We are still waiting for vaccine from the province, he said. And according to the data from 14 red zone villages, there are still thousands of estimated rabies transmitting animals that are targeted. In addition to the depleted stock of rabies vaccine, the stock of anti-rabies vaccine VAR for bite victims has also run out. Thus, vaccines are prioritized for victims who've been confirmed that a dog or animal that transmit rabies and has bitten them is confirmed to be positive. So they're only going to get that. They have to wait and see if there's a positive test. So if you're out in the street and you have a dog being aggressive towards you, you need to be careful. And hopefully mass vaccinations will take place around the island. Okay, let's go to some national news. President Jokowi meets Musk, visits SpaceX. So I talked about this, a few weeks ago, that Pak Luhut said that Musk was going to meet with the president. Well, it has happened. President Jokowi was in the U.S. while ASEAN leaders met with President Biden of the United States. And so President Jokowi got to meet with Musk, the founder of SpaceX, and of course the head of Tesla, and he visited the company's rocket factory in the United States. The president was meeting as a follow-up to the meeting that Pak Luhut had with Musk, and according to the president, the world's richest man is very interested in coming to Indonesia soon. Musk said that he hopes he can visit Indonesia in November 2022, and he thanked the president for the invitation. Musk said that he was very interested in the potentials of Indonesia, and he said Tesla and SpaceX will explore some collaborations with Indonesia. Okay, that's going to be interesting to see. Okay, well, like I said, it's been a slow news week. If you found this video helpful, useful, informative, scintillating, non-irritating, humorous, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Videos Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And a cooking video on Sunday. Here's the most recent cooking video. And also, there was a Singaraja snippets, walking tours of Singaraja. You could see the latest one here. Okay, it is Azan time. That's it. Thanks for viewing. Stay safe. Be kind to someone today, and I will see you tomorrow.